Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome for another lovely session by Chandigarh Literary Society. Well, I have deepest affection for intellectual talks, conversations, the ability to, just sit and talk about life, about things, about everything and about anything. In words of Martin Luther King, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. Isn't it true? Just speak it out what holds important. And for us writers, just write what needs to be written. I have with me two beautiful authors who have one thing in common. Along with other writings, both of them write for women. Miss Nupur Dhingra, by profession, she is a company secretary but has a passion for writing and is an author of two books, Empirical Odyssey and Oh Girl, You're Precious. Miss Shefali Arora, she is pursuing her PhD in computer sciences but is fond of poetry since childhood. She is an author of two books, Infinite Road and Dare, Dream and Travel. I welcome you both and looking forward for a beautiful conversation.
Thank you so
So,
much.
Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction.
yeah. So, Shifali, you are a professor and pursuing PhD in computer sciences, which I guess is a technical subject. And then
Yes.
you love writing poetry. So, I'm very curious to know that, how this technicality and creativity come together.
Yeah, that is a very interesting question. I think this is something which the creative side of me, the about writing when it comes to writing. So I was really drawn towards it since the time I was in school. So when I started writing poetry and my family and my friends encouraged me, they really liked my work. So that gave me the boost to continue my passion. So, and I always had that thing in me to write stories. As a child, I would write stories and read it out to my mother or do a few things or participate in competitions. So I always had this in me that, I would like to be a writer someday. I would like to write a full-fledged story and have it out in the publishing domain. So, but then I could not pursue it as a full-time career. I did not get that opportunity. So I was always good at computers. So I pursued my degree in computer science, followed by masters, and then I always loved teaching. So I started pursuing PhD. So it all happened, but I did not leave my passion anytime. So I continued writing, and I continued giving a boost to my dream that I want to be an author someday. And so that is why I ventured into this domain, and it started with a small poetry book which I self-published, but later on I came into traditional publishing with these two books, The Infinite Road and Their Dream Travel.
But that's great. That means you are master of all. So, that is really. And Nupur, you are a company secretary by profession, which is a full-time job. So here also I'm very amazed, how do you balance your time with a full-time job and then writing books which are women-centric and, which deal with the social issues. So how do you manage both the things so well?
Thank you for asking this beautiful question. The thing is, I was earlier working as a company secretary, but when I conceived and got blessed with a baby, so I could not work along with that. The responsibilities hopped in, and I was totally a working, I was just totally a mother. My word was surrounding him only. Later, when he joined school, I was just I was I was missing something in my life, and I was wondering that CS is not what I was meant for. So I decided to just pour my thoughts out what I wanted to be, and these thoughts helped me to become an author and what I am today.
But
My
that is
mentor
great.
supported me a lot when I was just sticking to what I wanted to become. I was just striving. And he just guided me that you please go ahead. I am there with you to support wherever I can. Write your thoughts and just move forward. You'll touch the sky. And honestly, he gave me the wings to fly high in this limitless sky.
That is really amazing. And I think I can also resonate with you because I am also a mother of two. And I know how much, it's how much time you have to give to your children and then do writing. So that is really nice. If you're pursuing your passion, that is the best thing to do in life. Would you like to, tell a gist about your book, Oh Girl, You're Precious?
Sure.
What is it about? And
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh Girl, You Are Precious highlights the harassment of women or maybe any person at the workplace, because every woman and each one of us are inclined to work, inclined to become independent and go out of our comfort zone and work, and to just, just to fetch a name in the society, that is recognition. And sometimes it happens that a woman who is stepping out of her comfort zone and getting being harassed with the people who considers the workplaces as their kingdom, because they are sitting at the higher positions or designations. These people take the benefit. The benefit can be of any kind, be it be a, it could be a, like, physical harassment, it could be a mental harassment too, but in both ways it is uh, hampering the emotional balance and the mental balance of a person who is being harassed. So, Oh Girl, You Are Precious is a beautiful story that would reflect the emotions, the relationships of a daughter with her parents, and how they support when she needed them the most. Apart from that, it is a love story too, that how a person just hop in a life of like become a stranger, and then how he handle everything so beautifully. Apart from it, as I said earlier, that it is based on the harassment, and that girl how she was harassed at her workplace, and how she came up with it, the laws that reflects that are regulating in our society about which are just available to in every organization. And I've just mentioned every of the, so sorry, all the laws that are regulated and being implemented in our society and in the industries, which in the companies where we are working. So I believe everyone should know that what are their rights working in their companies, and there is a small message in it that you should not be, you should not remain harassed or being jeered in the society, in the eyes of the, eyes of the people who are just harassing you. In fact, you should come out, you should be impactful enough that yes, you can do it, that courage should be there, and this book reflects the courage and zeal that is hidden beneath every person.
That's a great book, and this is what I was talking about earlier. That you should write what you feel, which is important in today's society, and which needs people really need to learn things from this. So we writers can do this. That we can write what people needs to understand and realize what is important. So that is great. Shefali, I would really love to know about Dare, Dream, and Travel. It's about a solo traveler, right? About girls how they travel.
Yes.
Yeah, so I would love to know about
So the idea of daredream travel came to my mind when I was reflecting back. I was introspecting about my travel schedule. I love traveling, but I have not ventured out solo. I have not been completely on my own. And there are so many groups on Facebook where women are collaborating together and going out by making groups. So there are solo women travelers who are taking other women on going out on their own. So that was something that really fascinated me, and I wanted to know more about their experiences. And I also felt that there is a restraint that holds women back. It can be societal restraint, or it could be household work that keeps them back from letting go of their inhibitions, and they cannot travel. The reason, and that is what came out to be true, because when I talked to women, so a certain section of the women said that no, they haven't been out on their own, but a very good section of women who were there on the Facebook groups and communities, they said that yes, we go out solo, we explore our passion, even though we have kids, we have work, and a few families were very supportive, a few families were not. So when I talked to women, I noted down their experiences. We did a lot of cross questioning, and got to know about certain incidents that they faced when they were on their own, or whether even if they were in travel groups which comprise entirely of women. So this gave me 15 to 16 very interesting stories, which are completely, if you read these stories, so you would find a certain element in every story which would be spine chilling, or which would touch your heart, or which would lead you to think that okay, this could happen if you are traveling alone. But if you have the spirit, if you have that strength and spirit and the motivation to keep you going, nobody can stop you, even if you are traveling independently. And there are so many travel groups these days who are supporting women, women who are solo travelers. They are leading these groups and they are giving their experience to other women. So all we need is we need to broaden our mindset regarding solo traveling. And these stories would definitely, give you that enthusiasm, and also give you certain tips, that you can keep in mind when you're traveling on their own. So the motive of writing this book was that women should come out, and if they like traveling, if they love traveling, they shouldn't be too dependent to fulfill their dreams. So that was the motive, and that I've tried to depict through these stories.
That's a very interesting topic, and I didn't get time to read both the books. I would love to read both of them. Very interestingly written. So would love to, go ahead with them. I even heard that you both became friends at some at meeting at some literary group. So how do you feel that these groups and societies these days they are helping the budding authors to make a stand in the field of writing, and how it helped both of you individually to grow as individuals and as writers? So, Nupur, what are your comments on this?
To be very honest, I feel lucky to join these groups because we meet like-minded people, and there are certain things that we learn each day from each one of us, because everyone is having a different element in them. They want to explore, they want to express so many things, and sometimes we get the experience to, we get certain things to mention or to write in a in a better way, I would say. Sometimes the idea is popping in my head, but I'm not getting anything specific to express it. When I speak to someone else, when I speak to like-minded people, in or whether I need any kind of suggestion, we are so free to just mark these things into the group, and just so many ideas are coming in. So I believe these groups helps us a lot to grow as an author, because for the newbies, it is a very wonderful platform, I would say, because no one knows us. Apart
Yeah.
from that, one thing that I do as a person, that in fact Shifali does that same thing, that we buy each other's books, we encourage each other, because people are restricting themselves to buy the books of the new authors. They feel that whether their investment would fetch them with the proper returns that they are expecting out of the content or something. But yes, we do buy each other's books, we reviews each other's books, we read it, and we find there are so many things that we can learn from each other after reading the thoughts or what we pen. That's it.
I completely agree with Nupur. So there are these author communities do help us to reach out to like-minded people, discuss, because so many different authors, they write so beautifully and they have different perspectives. So when so many different ideas come together on a group, you definitely learn a lot. And so when we came in touch with each other, we did read each other's books and gave constructive feedback. So it was a very good experience, and yes, we became friends after that. So we are in touch, other ways also, not only related to, we don't only talk about books. We are now good friends. So that is something, you add some personal value as well as some professional value when you are a part of these societies, and definitely you reach out to more and more readers. So when we talk about, or when you discuss your about your work, so it definitely attracts a few people to read your work and appreciate it or give some feedback. So any feedback that you get is always appreciated. So I think being a part of such communities does broaden your perspective a lot.
No, absolutely true. And I think today we have so many avenues which help us. So there's a quote, which I really believe in, that you don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to take the first step. And when we take the first step,
Definitely.
automatically there are so many things, which encourage us to go ahead. So yes, this is a boost, especially in today's time. We have been really lucky to be brought up in today's time when we have so much to learn from. Well, since it's a ladies panel today and we all write for women, even my latest book, I Am Me, was women centric. I wrote poetries related to women. So it's a
That's
ladies
nice.
panel. Yeah, it's a ladies panel. We all write for women. So no doubt that, in today's society, women is making her mark. In every field, she has shattered many glass ceilings. Still, it's a man's world. So what do you think that the biggest problem women is still facing today? Any one of you can, answer.
Uh, okay, so I think the biggest problem today I feel is still, as I mentioned while talking about daydream travel, is the mindset that we cannot be on our own, or there is something that there are some other priorities that should always be that women should always take up, and dreams should be placed behind them. I think that perspective is still there, somewhere there in the society, and that holds them back, and women are not able to step forward in the direction of their dreams. Basically, there are many women when I talked, whom I talked to while writing their dream travel. So they said that yes, it is difficult because household chores or financial constraints do not allow you to take the step of traveling on your own. So I think if women take the charge, and yes, it is important to manage everything, but they can balance everything. But I think that the society should accept this, and if women take the charge and the society accepts this fact that yes, they should be given their own right space, and they should be allowed to step ahead and cross the bridges that they want to. So this can make a little difference, but I think we are still far from there. Nupur, you would like to add something?
Yeah, what's
I
your take?
totally agree with you, Shefali, what you said. Moreover, I would like to add one more thing that sometimes a woman is not helping women or not supporting women to rise. Let us
Hmm.
proceed. Like in our families, we are bound to work. Um, if I'll take my example, I am up at 5:30 in the morning and I'm working till 11:30 at night. And after that, I am having certain things to balance, and again the thing is happening in my head that oh my god, I need to plan the next day too. So what happens with us that we give priority to other responsibilities. Apart from that, we also do this thing. I believe that we also do this now, that we are placing our dreams or our aspirations on the second notch because our responsibilities are taking it all. Sometimes we snub it, sometimes we suppress our emotions. But what I found in my journey that if we have a passion in our head, if we have something, if we are determined towards anything, we can do that. And this is what I am doing. Apart from making everything at its place and providing everything to everybody, and I'm just fetching time for me, for my passion, and it is adding a fuel to my body. I would say that writing is more like a food. If I'm not writing any day, I feel that something is lacking in my day. And I believe that if we are willing to do, we can do that. So
Yes.
sometimes women is also not supporting, and sometimes we are also giving them the um, opportunity to just bind us, or maybe just to okay, you come over and we are all yours.
So, do you think, Nupur, that there's a difference about what feminism was, why was it started, and was what it is now? What it has become now in today's society? Do you think there's a difference? Is there still fight for equality, or is it more of a competition of egos and clashes? What is your take on that?
Precisely, I would say that feminism is always in our society. It was there earlier too, and it is there. But sometimes the in the present time, earlier it happened that women was supporting women, or maybe if someone was stepping out of their places and working, so it was more like that people are were like, you know, she should not work. The woman is meant for a house only, and she's a homemaker. She should not step out. If she'll step out, she will not be able to manage the family, and everything would become on the second priority. These days, things are always there. Such kind of a mentality is there, and the people are, um, these days women is just hampering women. They are just suppressing their emotions, and if someone is just ruling or someone is just going above, so they are dragging them back. So these things are there in our society, and I believe it should not happen. We should help each other to grow.
So, Shifali, do you have anything to say about feminism, what it was earlier and what it is now? What is the difference between, how we used to see feminism earlier? Because earlier we really needed empowerment. So now how are you perceiving it?
So definitely there was a time when women needed to break a lot of barriers because it was preconceived notion that women are meant to work in uh, uh, in the house and not step out or pursue their dreams. So feminism was something that was the need of the hour, so that they can realize what they actually want to be, and they are not limited to a specific domain. So I think these days, well, the meaning of equality has changed. I think many at certain times it is being used in the wrong sense. So equality doesn't mean that we should downgrade, the other gender. So many
Exactly.
times it goes in the wrong way also, as I have seen from the incidents that are reported in the media or otherwise. So we should take it in a neutral way that yes, we do need to say we should stand up against the wrong. If there is something if there is something that should not be the way it is, if it is against our rights or against our dreams, we should speak and we should, get hold of what we want. What we should chase our dreams and we should do what we feel is right as women. So that I think would be the correct way to pursue it rather than just going overboard and declaring that this is my right or this is. I hope you agree with that because lately it is the scenario.
Absolutely, and this is what I believed. But then, I really, and after you spoke, so I thought, yes, this is what the notion should be. It should be equality, and not, just going about that, boasting about yourself.
Yes,
Then, what is the difference between the other gender and this gender?
correct.
It should be
Yes.
equal. Yes, and I totally agree. You need to be determined, and you need to follow your dream, as Nupur said. You have to follow your passion. Even when I started writing my book, I started it with Maya Angelou's quote: "You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise." So, yes,
Wow.
there is a difference between what the world was and what the world is becoming. From 2019 to 2020, which was a sad year, then 2021, which became a very destructive year. Now 2022, again new hopes, again new light is seen that the world might become normal again. So what should be the priority? Because, like, as we write for social issues as well, keeping humanity in mind, how should you go ahead in life, and what do you guys think that with the new world, again, it's a kind of a new world only which will be coming now, so how humanity should be taken into consideration? Nupur?
What I am pursuing these days, what I'm perceiving from the like 2019 and 20, which was actually a destructive year, because people were leaving their loved ones just because they were just, you know, scared of being infected. They were protecting themselves, and this pandemic has created a certain people, they became selfish. No one was there to help, although there were so many people who were just going out of their limits, and they were helping people a lot. But I have seen so many people, and from the last few days I'm just watching them. Like, I have seen so many examples when a few of the people came to me and they were just explaining what happened with their family members. So, a person who reflected that thing, that on the cremation ground, a son came to see the father, like, just I just want to see my father for the last time. And what he did, he just, like, he kept his hand and just bought the ring from his finger and went away. So there was no emotional things attached with the family members, and this pandemic was just, um, I would not say that word, but yes, no one was there to support their family members who have just raised them with their blood and sweat. So yes,
Humanity
certainly
got
they were
put.
destructive here. Humanity was not there. We talk about humanity, that we should remain kindness, we should spread the sense of gratitude. But in these last 2 years, no one even showed the gratitude and humanity to their family members itself. So I believe when my son is very young, he's 5 years, and when I asked him to just help someone else, now he just come to me and says, "Mama, I am so happy that I helped that person."
Mhm.
This is what we should spread. I mean, we should help each other to grow and develop. Apart from that, I always say this, that we should spread the spirit of humanity, because when we help a person, probably you won't be getting anything in return, but yes, the supreme soul is always watching your good deeds, and he will always support you in every endeavors. This is what I believe.
Yeah, Shefali, your take on this?
Well, I completely agree with what Nupur said. It is very important to be kind and generous towards others because people are very, as Nupur said, people are becoming very selfish these days, and especially in the past 2 years, uh, you know, uh, it has been a destructive period. So people have lost their loved ones and they have lost their jobs, and it's time that we actually heal ourselves by being good to others and doing something for them and for ourselves. So I remember when I was writing The Infinite Road, this track was there in my mind. So now, so my mother used to visit an NGO. She is a doctor and she visited there as a medical officer. So, that NGO was full of, I visited that place with her several times, and it was full of people, who are physically and mentally disabled, old people who have been abandoned by their kids, by their children, and disabled kids, who were found, babies who were found wrapped in polythenes and in dustbins. So they are brought to these NGOs and they take care of such people. So it left a deep impact on my mind because that is what led me to think that it is so easy to discard your loved ones or people who are disabled because you cannot take care of them, but that is very selfish on our part. So when I wrote The Infinite Road, the theme was around an underprivileged kid and how the protagonist of the story, she helps her to get a bright future, and in the midst of that she also faces her own problems and circumstances. So I wanted to give out a social message, that even if you cannot do a lot, at least we should try to do a bit for everyone, for the underprivileged, for anyone who is around you, your loved ones. Just try to do your bit, and the rest will follow. If you are doing good, then you would get good fruits of that, definitely. But start with doing small deeds, even if you cannot do something very big.
That is very rightly said. These 3 years have, everybody has faced a lot. Everybody has lost somebody, everybody has faced financial crisis. So yes, I think in 2022, every single person should think about humanity and whether there's a supreme power, because nobody has seen anything, but karma is especially there. Whatever you'll do, you'll get back. So yes, I think everybody should think positive and believe in doing good. uh my I would, there's a last question which I would love to ask both of you. Women are already making their mark, Like even if we see today, our finance minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Indra Nui, Priyanka Chopra, Saina Nehwal, in every field we are seeing women shining, right? And the empowerment which I was talking about, women are already empowered. There's nothing, we don't need that empowerment anymore. We don't need that feminism for making us empowered anymore. But there's a quote by Malala Yousafzai which I often think and I have often wonder. I raise up my voice not so that I can shout, but so that those without a voice can be heard. We cannot all succeed when half of us are held back. No doubt, most of us are empowered, but there's still a society, there are still people there are still girls, who need to be empowered, who need to know that they have special rights with them. So, how do you think this empowerment needs to be taken care of now when most of us are empowered? So, how do you feel like that, this empowerment should be taken care of and how it should be taken forward at every level? Shifali?
Yes, you rightly said that that stage has come when many of us are empowered, though there is a little more scope of a few things. But as individuals, we can help others. We can take this forward by empowering other women. So by not downgrading and demeaning anyone, because many times we do not let the other person grow in the midst of our own uh, uh, ambitions. But we should have a mindset that we should be helping other people to grow as well. If we want to be empowered, we should give others a chance too, and that is how that legacy will continue. Because if we help others, if we give somebody the strength, the will, then they would pass it on to somebody. If we do not pursue that, and so it will never it will create barriers for all the other people as well. And if we motivate other women, if we help them to cross the bridges that we have already crossed, then that would make a lot of impact. So it doesn't mean that as I said, it doesn't mean that we need to do really big things for that. We can start with we can take small steps. Now, for example, I always thought that I would help I would like educate a girl child sometime in the future, maybe. So small things, they can actually make a lot of impact in somebody's life, I feel. And we should go and do such things to empower other women.
Yeah, a single step can, really do wonders. Nupur, how do you take this idea further?
Well, the thing is, empowering women. We talk about empowerment, but this word itself holds a lot of, I mean, I would say the courage or the zeal in itself. But there is a huge sector in our community where the women are still facing a lot of problems, and specifically in the rural areas. What happens when I have visited a place in person and I have seen there was so many things that I felt so blessed to be living in a particular society where I'm being provided with all the amenities and facilities. But when I saw them living and sacrificing their basic rights, it was a cause of concern from me. And for the same reason, I joined an NGO. I just share whatever I get from my editing things. Being an editor, I whatever I get, I choose to share these certain amount so that I can just help that person or help that community to grow. Apart from it, one thing that I do, what I feel, what I think, I used to write on my Instagram handles, and I have so many friends there, so many followers there, my readers. They are having certain questions regarding feminism, regarding the women, or sometimes they are facing a lot of personal problems. So what I do, I used to help them. I currently do that whenever they are having any problem, I help them. There was a girl near to my place, and she texted me once that I'm facing certain things because my father wanted me to join an army. and I am like fond of Indian Army. But when he passed away due in COVID times, and after him, my family is just forcing me to get married. Now I do not know what to do. I do not know how to just make them understand because my brother beats me. When I say that I do not want to just get married now and I want to serve my country, so they are having that you are a girl, you cannot move ahead. So she
Mm.
called me, and you will not believe, I initially I spoke to her mother, but she was not interested. Then I visited her place with the due permission of her mother, and we spoke to them. We spoke to her family, and we just convinced them that please let her spread her wings. If she is willing, in case, what would you do in case if that family would just keep her in the kitchen itself and would just not let her go out and study? She's merely 21 years.
Mm.
So yes, they understood the point, and I was so happy when they permitted her to move out, and now she's like pursuing. She's just trying to just give her exams for serving to the nation, and it was the biggest achievement that I have got. So I
But
believe,
you
yes, small steps makes a big difference, and we should not limit ourselves. Whenever we find any opportunity, we should go ahead and help anybody. It could be any
And I
person.
think that's completely right. Even listening to someone, I think sometimes it makes a lot of difference in somebody's life. So if somebody wants to vent out something, and you can just give an ear to that person because nobody else listens to her, and especially women. So, it gives you a lot of satisfaction and it gives them some direction also. And that is also a kind of not only help but empowerment, I would say. So that
have
makes a lot of difference.
I would like to
it.
add one more thing to this thing. A few days back, I was having the um, plot of my third book in my head, although, but I was not able to write it properly the way I wanted because that is also a sensitive issue. So I was facing problems, and one of my friend was sitting on my head that you should write it. You should not sit back, and you should not, because I was not getting time apart from I am editing books. So um, by 26th of December, I was not at all able to write a single word. And this is something what I do. I always launch my book on 8th of March, International Women's Day. And I feel it is a privilege. So I spoke to a person. She is an editor. She's a best-selling author. I called her at 9 p.m. and I told her that, ma'am, please listen to me. What I am facing, there is a dilemma, and I am unable to share it with anybody because no one would understand what I am facing. She listened to me for more than half an hour, and she gave me a direction. What I was stuck at a place, and she gave me a direction. She gave me a motivation, and you will not believe, on 27th December, I started writing my third book, and on 11th January, I finished the draft. And yes, I
Well,
am going to launch it again on 8th of March. So
that
That's
it
is
is
so
great.
something I
good.
believe, it was something very big for me. There was hidden. I had that plot although, but I was unable to write it. And she gave me that motivation that you can do it. Just go ahead. That was the one thing that I needed.
Hey, but that is really great. And Nupur, you are also doing so well with everybody, and you are doing so much for the society. I really loved the way you are working with everybody. And if everybody, just start helping one person, I guess the whole society would be a much, much better place to live in. Uh, in single lines, what would you like to tell, to the budding authors, or maybe anybody who's trying to pursue something but is not able to? So one-liners for the people, who are stuck somewhere in life and wants to, move ahead. So, Shefali,
I think that one line would be don't give up, just keep moving and chasing what you want.
absolutely, Nupur.
I would say that I have read somewhere that if you want to pursue your aspirations, specifically in field of writing, so I would say do write, pour your heart out, because a blank paper cannot be edited, but a bad paper can be. So if you write bad, it can be edited. It can, like, with the persistency and consistency, you can work upon it. But you need to come out of your comfort zone and drop your shells to pour your heart out. And being a writer, I would say one thing, that it gives me immense contentment to write. When I write, it gives me happiness.
Yes, it does, and that has been very rightly said by both of you. To not to give up, basically. I would love to sum up our conversation with a quote by Michelle Obama. There is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. So, as Shefali said, don't give up. Follow your passion, as Nupur said. Just believe in yourself, follow your dreams. Walk with equal shoulders, and we can make the world a much better place. It was such a lovely conversation with you, Nupur and Shefali. It was amazing to have a conversation with you both. And we all three of us were on the same stage, were on the same platform, supporting women, supporting humanity. So what wonderful, I think, evening rather than spending somewhere else. So this was a lovely evening. Thank you so much for joining with us today.
Thank you
Okay,
so
thank
much
you so
for
much.
having us, and it was a completely, it was an amazing session. Got to share and hear so many different insights.
Yes. Hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.